What's up, friends, family, La Familia, Squad, Soul Tribe. So today I wanted to do kind of something different. I was going to do a collective reading sort of based on the medicine wheel that I have here. And I read just intuitively based, and I'm going to lay out a spread for each direction of the medicine wheel with some clarification cards, and we're just going to kind of go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up a little bit of sacred space real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah. Call to the south, the earth and the winds in the south. We call on you, Amaru, great mother of waters. We ask that you would wrap your coils of light around us, that we would shed our old ways as you shed your skin. Oh, great mother. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh. We call on the west, and the moon and the waters and the winds in the west. We call on you, great bear, mother, sister, jaguar. We ask that you would be with us as we do a deep dive into the cave of the self, that we would know ourselves again once more in a deep way. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh. We call on the north, and the sky and the winds in the north. We call on the ancestors, 7 generations and beyond. We call on all those who will walk beyond us. We call on the archangels, all the ascended masters. We call on the grandmothers and the grandfathers who have walked before us. We call on you, Kinti. We ask that you would teach us to fly only to the sweet nectar of life and follow our heart's desire. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh. We call on the east, and the rising sun, and the fire in the east, and the winds of the east. We call on you, rising sun, for these new beginnings. And we ask that you would shower us in your warmth and your light, that we would shine, that we would have the joy of a young child and a new birthing process for this new direction in our life. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh, Mitaki Asin. Oh. Woo. Thank you all. Just want to do a little space clear here for the read. This is a solar plexus bowl, so be activating our personal power, the center of our karpai, where our personal power resides. And so I'm just gonna bang this a few times, so be warned, it can be a little loud, and then we'll go ahead. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So when I was shuffling these just a few times, all these cards, when I was getting things started, we had the Wheel of Fortune pop out. And I get the intuition, the feeling that there's some big things coming for a lot of us. Some big changes, big opportunities. And I think it's going to be very important. There we are. Over these next few days, few months, few years especially, that we stay extremely grounded. And I'm not going to take those, it's too many. That we stay extremely grounded in all facets of our lives, while still allowing that higher dimensional, that etheric energy to flow down into us. I think that the grounding, the deeper our roots are, the more ability we have to allow that higher dimensional energy to ground down into us. We have to have the roots to be able to hold that energy. So that's why it's going to be so important with all of this that's coming up here soon. Looks like both of those wanted to come out here for the east. Interesting. So I'm going to start in the south. Now this would be the place of our familial ties, our adolescence. It would be the place of the more dense realms, the lower vibrational energies, the place of the earth, also of transformation. And first, we see death here. And with this card, I see death riding in on a horse in what looks like a skeleton that's armored here. And we have a figure, it looks like the Hierophant or the Pope or something right here, that looks as though it is pleading with death, or almost with its hands together as if thanking death. And that's kind of the energy that I get, that this is, the death here is a gift. It's a passing from what we once knew, and an opportunity to rise into the next chapter and layer of our lives. And the ability to do that is going to be here with the Hermit. And with that, I'm getting a deep reflection period within ourselves, of really going deep within and cultivating that knowledge and allowing that knowledge to marinate within us, of what that next step looks like, of what we do want, of that process of going from our adolescence into a state of being able to mature forward, and using that death, that everything that we've been through, all those things that we keep hidden away, our shames, our guilts, all these low vibrational things that we need to go down and dig those up, bring those with us and use those lessons learned as the light that we shine, use that to shine our starlight here. That is where we are going to gain our light from and our ability to speak on these things moving forward. And so I'm going to go ahead and move to the west here. Now the west is about the cave of the self, the heart cave, the place of reflection from which all things are born, that the great mother space from which all things emerge from, all matter, all that is comes from that space of nothingness, that empty space, that no thing space. So the West is also the place of maturing, of adulthood, of becoming that who we are in our adult lives. So first I see here the Seven of Cups. On this card, you can see that the person here is walking away from these cups. Now normally, what I get from this card is that this person is leaving behind all of these things that they had in search of that next step, that 8, 9, 10 of cups, that they know there's something greater on the horizon for them. So that's really what I'm feeling here, that a lot of us are doing fine. Like, we've had these 7 cups, but we're to the point in our lives where that's no longer really fulfilling us, and we know in our hearts and our souls that we are meant for something greater. And we're coming to the point now in our maturing into being these keepers, these guardians of the planet, that we are willing to leave all of this behind in search of that true happiness, that true desire, that true fulfillment within our hearts that we know could be waiting on the other side of these mountains. And we are finally coming to the point where we are willing to climb those and to transcend and to do whatever is necessary to get to this Ace of Cups. And that's really what I feel like, brothers and sisters, friends, that's what's coming. My fellow chosen, the 144,000, as they call us, would seem that, through this process of expansion, through this process of willingness to leave everything behind and to go in search of something greater, we're going to find the true heart's desire. We're going to find that overflowing cup in many different ways. Then there's, in this picture here, there's a white dove, and it looks like the cup is overflowing in 5 different places. Now, to me, that would represent the 4 elements: water, earth, fire, air, and the spirit, the ether. So it's a representation that in all of those areas of our life, there will be an overflowing of abundance and joy and happiness, a true expression of the Garden of Eden, of those eternal waters in our own life. Now we want to move up to the north. Interesting. Here I see the 4 of Swords. And with this card, if you want to look, there's a person laying on a bed of some sort, and a flat surface at least, with 3 swords up to the side, one beside them, and hands up, almost in a position of deep meditation or thought. And now with this, I feel like there has been a lot of contemplation, ethereally, like, because we are now in the north. And the north would be the place of the ancestors, the high vibrational realm, the archangels, the ascended masters. And this is telling me that we have been almost in our etheric realm, looking at the things that we have struggled with, that we have felt like were swords in our life, doing a deep contemplation, and deciding if we're ready to release those things. And the feeling that I get is that through the release of those things, we'll be able to see through these multicolored stained glass here, almost like a kaleidoscope of new energy, the view that's looking out. Once we are able to wake up from this reflection and look out through, this looks like a beautiful landscape there. And I feel that by standing in our power, we are going to be able to move on into the direction that we want. We have here the Queen of Wands. It's one of the most powerful cards in the deck here. I also see in her hand that she is holding a sunflower. Now that's really interesting because we just had the summer solstice. And so it's feeling like the energies moving in here from the summer solstice are going to be allowing us to stand in our power in a form which we really haven't ever in the past before. Standing in our magic. Get a little clarification on the north here. Okay, so Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So that's telling me that as we go, the pages are like the almost happy-go-lucky, like willing to go after the things that they want, not quite as thoughtful and experienced as any of the queens or the kings. It's almost like a free-flowing, joyful, young energy. And this is telling me that by going with that energy towards the things that we want, that we will get those pentacles. And that we will end up in this Queen of Cups energy, which is really that ability to receive those things. So that's really beautiful energy. I'm going to go ahead and move ahead. Now here in the east, the place of the rising sun, of new beginnings, of new birth, we have the world and the devil. A very interesting combination here. I feel like this is a choice that we can have. We have the ability to have this brand new world of magic. You see this woman floating here with different animals around her, the eagle, a lion, looks like a bull there, and there's a child of the earth, a person here up on the top. And this looks almost like a sweetgrass braid or something wrapped around her, and as though she's floating. And in the devil card here, we have these two people that are chained down with this Capricorn energy, this devil energy, which is, I mean, it's not necessarily in any way a bad thing, this devil energy, but I do feel like in this case, it's saying that we have the opportunity of our lower vibrational desires, our egoic state, or our higher vibrational highest self, our multidimensional God self. We have the opportunity to choose with this new beginning. And I do feel like, you know, with our people, with our race, that we're almost at a tipping point here, where I have heard in many ways that the earth is going to be splitting dimensionally, that there will be a lower vibrational earth and a higher vibrational earth, almost like a cell as it splits into two cells, that there will be a dimensional split, and that not all of the beings here are going to go to that higher plane, and not all of them are going to the lower plane, that our choices are going to decide where we're going to go moving forward. Can I get a little clarification there on the devil? Came out before I could even ask. What this is the Seven of Swords. Now, sometimes people will read this card as like thievery or trickery or something that's going on behind the scenes. But the way I understand this card is this person is stealing or taking these swords so that the battle that is going to happen, or the people that are going to come after them, will have no ability to do so. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here, is that Spirit is asking us to be willing to do the things necessary, even if it seems a bit mischievous at times. But as long as we're doing it with a good heart, with what's best for the all in mind, that's what's most important. And I do also feel like that this is a call to move away from any fighting or any war, any type of the negative aspects of the swords. Now, it's not saying like it's okay to do bad as long as it's for good, in the sense of like killing people or going to war. That's not what it means. It means taking that ability of war away, even if that means doing things that are perceived as theft. That would be like stealing a nuclear bomb or a plane to destroy it so that it would never be used, in that sort of sense. So I think that that's what Spirit is employing us to do, to be creative in what way that we can bring more peace to the world, even if it seems mischievous at times, even if others look at it like you're stealing or doing wrong. Now, sometimes this could represent divination aspects, tools like the tarot, which people think is witchcraft or can look at negatively in certain ways. But really, it's just a representation of all different aspects of the self. And so I think it's important how you use those tools, you know, and the intention behind them. And really that's what I'm getting is this new beginning is going to be very dependent on the intentions that we set. Now I want to pull a card from each of these 3 decks for the heart of the reading, and then we'll go ahead and leave it. Nope, that's the one there. Visions of life after death. I'm not going to take this card, I just want to show it because it came up. So that's for somebody. It looks like a grandmother here with a peacock, a raven, and an owl. And I do believe that that's calling us at the heart of this reading to connect with that eternal within each of us. The part of us that is unborn, that is uncreated, that has always been, will always be, beyond this lifetime, before this lifetime, that is beyond time and space itself. So that 2 wanted to come out for these. I'm going to go ahead and take them. Okay, first here we have the rabbit in reverse. I am feeling called to read from the book here on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have the rabbit reverse 30 as well as the number on this card. If that's of any importance to you, if you want to look up that angel number. So, the rabbit in reversed is the paralyzed feeling which rabbit experienced when being stalked, is rabbit in the contrary position. If you have tried to resolve a situation in your life and are unable to, you may be feeling frozen in motion. This could indicate a time to wait for the forces of the universe to start moving again. It could also indicate the need to stop and take a rest. It will always indicate a time when you need to reevaluate the process you are undergoing and to rid yourself of any negative feelings, barriers, or duress. Simply put, you cannot have your influence felt until you rearrange the way of seeing the present set of circumstances. There is always a way out of any situation, because the universal force does not move on. It is the way in which you handle the problem that allows you to succeed. Take a hint from Rabbit. Burrow into a safe space to nurture yourself and release your fears until it is time to move into the pasture. Clear of prowlers who want a piece of your juicy energy. So really this is just telling me that it's time for us to really sit back within ourselves in a safe space and to nurture ourselves and to really take a deep look inside of those fears, those things that we perceive that are holding us back. Just take a really hard look at them. And you know, from my experience in life, guys, it's those things that we think that are holding us back that are the opportunity for that next step for us. There is something good in any situation, and the more you train your mind to look at the good in any situation, the more you're going to find it. With every negative, there is an equal and opposite positive. So if something's the worst thing that ever happened to you, it is also the best thing that has ever happened to you. It's all in the way that you look at it and what you can use that for to turn into something beautiful. Okay. Ah, how funny. Restore and replenish. Ha! Wow. If that isn't a confirmation, I don't know what is. Restore and replenish, friends. Now here I see the woman is laid down, almost like buried in a burrow, of there's seashells and a bunch of leaves around her as well. So that's really telling me that Mother Earth, Pachamama, is asking us to connect with the groundedness within ourselves, with nature itself, with the trees, with the waters, with the rivers, with the ocean. Whatever we feel called to, and really allow ourselves to sink into that space. Okay. Next we have I Remember. Soul Plan. The fated life versus the destiny life. And then we have You Got the Love. Hadarian energy, codependence, and boundaries. So again, this is coming back to kind of this new beginning in the East that we're facing here. And I think it's talking about, the fated life versus the destiny life. And the fated life is kind of our set of circumstances that we find ourselves in. And, we can choose to accept those circumstances, or we can do that deep dive within ourselves and really look at ourselves and find what it is that we're truly meant to do in that space of eternity, of eternal knowing, that Christ consciousness, that God self within each of us has a higher plan for us. And it's almost about releasing all of these preconceived notions of who we are and allowing that energy to flow through us, to be a channel for that divine, for that higher light, for all that is, and using our darkness, the things that we've gone through, as a springboard to jump up to that level of vibration. It's not about leaving those things behind. It's about cultivating those things and bringing them with us. That's why there is that dance of up and down, it feels sometimes, through vibration, that the higher we get, almost the more sorrows and the more darkness that's available. It's opening us up for the ability to dive deep and to transmute those things, to alchemize those things into something beautiful. This You Got the Love, codependence and boundaries. Now, it's telling me with this card that setting our boundaries and releasing these different areas of codependence in our lives is how we're going to really step into that next chapter of love, realizing that we don't need to find love outside of ourselves, that we are love. Just look in the mirror. Just be who you are. That is love expressing itself. And you have the ability to be that love, to be that angel, to be that spark of light in every situation and with every person you meet, whether that's a smile, whether that's complimenting them, whether that's holding the door open for somebody, whether that's whatever your heart feels called to do in the moment. You are that love. Whether that's releasing somebody, whether that's setting up a boundary and never talking to somebody again, that could be the most loving thing that you could ever do to somebody. That could help them to stand in their own power, to really move on to that next path that they need for their own soul's growth. And knowing that nothing is ever left behind, that all is complete, that all is whole, that we are unity. And that each one of us is on a different section of our soul path. And that is just a reflection of ourselves as well. We've been there, and if we haven't, we'll be there at some point. So hold grace in your hearts, friends, family. And be ready to stand for what you think is right. You don't owe anyone anything. Go where your heart takes you, where your heart leads you. Be brave, be courageous. I know that you will. All right, friends, family, much love. I want to give thanks to the South, Uamaru. We thank you. Oh, we give thanks to the West, to the bear, to the jaguar, to the heart space in the west. Om Sakyasam. We give thanks to the north, to the archangels, to the ancestors, to the ascended masters. We give thanks to Om Sakyasam. We give thanks to the east, to the rising sun, to the new beginnings. We give thanks to you, last of all great spirit. We thank you for being with us for this act of divination, for helping all beings in all timelines and dimensions to raise to their highest vibration and to be the utmost respect and reflection of you. Always, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. All glory to you, to the Most High. Oh, Sakyasam, we thank you.